The moment I woke up, I realized my left wrist was chained with a thick gold chain, and the other end was tied to my arch nemesis, who also happened to be my childhood friend, Yakin. Without wasting a single second, I yanked her up and barked, "You idiot! What on earth are you doing? How dare you crawl into my bed?" Yakin didn't look sleepy at all. In fact, she didn't even seem surprised. She just smirked, her red lips curving upward, as she stared at me with an amused smile. I held at my left wrist. What is the meaning of this? Unlock this right now. I rattled the gold chain, shoving it in her face. Suddenly, Yakin's calm facade cracked, her voice rising with anger. You want to run back to Yuan Tantian again, don't you? Don't even dream about it. I will never let you see her again as long as you live. I scratched my head, utterly confused. Yuan... Who? Young what now? Who even is she? And why on earth would I want to find her? That shut Yakin up. She froze right there. But her hesitation lasted for only 1 second. She probably remembered all my past antics. Seeing her dead silent, I decided to look around the room myself. It was a massive bedroom, and the decor screamed filthy rich. Yahan, thinking I was about to throw another fit, mocked coldly. What are you planning now? Are you going to smash another vase over my head? Or are you planning to... I completely tuned her out. After scanning the room, a million questions flooded my brain. Where on earth are we? Is this your place? But I'm pretty sure your house doesn't look like this. And how did I even get here? Why am I chained to you anyway? And why were we sleeping in the same bed? What did you do to me? Wait, is this gold chain just an alloy? It's not real gold, is it? She frowned. You really don't know where we are? This is the house you secretly bought behind my back. You kept it hidden from me all this time. What was that about? Suddenly, I noticed something bizarre. Rows of semi-transparent text floated out of thin air. They're here. They're here. The male lead is faking amnesia again to trick his villain wife. Poor President Tsai. I feel bad for her for a second. How long is he going to keep up the act this? But he won't even last a single day. The second female lead must have seen right through it. This is the 3rd time he's pulled this act. There's no way she'll fall for it again. By the way, does One Antan even show? Nope, nothing but bad reviews. What's so great about the female lead anyway? Can someone please show some love to our poor second female lead? She's the real star. Male lead, female lead, villainous wife. I recognize every single word, but put them together, and it sends a shiver down my spine. The sheer absurdity of this. Did I time travel or something? No, wait. I am still me. But the woman sitting across from me is my childhood friend, Tsai Yakin. We've hated each other's guts since we were kids.
You don't remember Wan Tanya?
Then, what do you actually remember? I didn't answer her question. Married? And you're my wife? How is that even possible?
Qiao Chen, if you want a divorce, forget it. It's never gonna happen. I will never let you be with Yuan Tantian.
Even if I die, don't you dare think you'll ever end up with her. I'm not even 20 yet. How could I possibly be married? This certificate has got to be fake. This marriage isn't even legal. How old are you? 19. Wai Yan's pupils instantly dilated. Her heart skipped a beat, but she quickly composed herself. Qiao Chen, I don't have time to waste on your games. Stop acting. How many times is this now? Faking amnesia. You might not be tired of this joke, but I'm sick of you wasting my time. Do not go looking for her again. She doesn't really love you. Amnesia? I haven't lost my memory. Yesterday, right after I won first place in the 800-meter race at the track meet, I twisted my ankle while bragging to you. But now, everything else is just a blank.
Sienna listened.
Her expression grew increasingly uneasy. Her eyes locked onto me. It was shortly after that race that Chen met Wan Tiantian. If he really has amnesia, it would explain why he didn't know her. You're not 19 this year. You're 26. Geez, we've been married for 4 years. 4 years. 4 whole years. No way. I'm clearly only 19. And why on earth would I marry you? You used to say even if every man on earth died, you'd never like me. Fine. I'll believe you for today. But if I find out you're lying to me again next time, it won't just be a simple chain keeping you locked up. I stared at the chain and asked her curiously, is this chain real gold or just some cheap alloy? It's real. But it's only 18 karat gold, so it's a bit soft.
So it is an alloy.
Got my hopes up for nothing. Her voice softened a little. If you want to buy something, just tell me. I'll buy it for you. Who are you, and what have you done with Yakin? It used to be impossible to get a single penny of pocket money out of you. You always said your money belongs to your husband. Now you're suddenly being generous? Well, you are my husband now. How on earth did I end up marrying you? Are you crazy? Or am I?
You're not lying to me, are you?
Yakin grabs the marriage certificate from the nightstand and throws it at me. It's the real deal, complete with the official embossed seal. I stare at the date on it. We got married the year we graduated. When we were 22. Morning light filters through the massive floor-to-ceiling windows. Yakin is sitting in the dining room, her gaze casually drifting over me from time to time. Nanny Wang says politely, "Breakfast is served." I stare at the breakfast spread on the table, and my eyes instantly light up. Yakin quietly observes me, her expression completely unreadable.
As I stuff my face, I called out toward the kitchen. Nanny Wan!
Your cooking is absolutely amazing. Nanny Mon poked her head out from the kitchen. I'm just glad you like it, sir. Please, eat as much as you'd like.
I absolutely love it, I say, stuffing another pan-fried dumpling into my mouth.
Seeing Chen look this happy.
How long has it been since I last saw that smile? But what if this is all an act? In an instant,
the warmth that was about to overflow from my heart is completely covered in ice.
What if Chen is only doing this to make me let my guard down?
What if he's planning to abandon me again to go back to Yandiente? I'll give him a chance. I will wait. Watch and judge. This thought wraps around Yakin's heart like a venomous snake.
She sets her coffee cup down. If Chen tries to deceive me again, the custom-made golden cage in the basement has been empty for way too long.
I wouldn't mind putting Chen right back inside.
I suddenly speak up.
Yakin, how come I don't remember your family being this rich?
This villa could have been cheap.
Right?
Did you buy this with your own money?
Just how much money have you made over the years? The old Chen never asked about my finances.
He didn't care about anything that had to do with me. All Chen cared about was Wan Tian.
He only had eyes for her.
Always trying to please her.
Yadan takes a deep breath. It wasn't that expensive.
Just a little over 300 million. Right now, I'm still worth tens of billions, at least. My eyes had already widened when I heard 300 million. But hearing that she's worth tens of billions, my eyeballs almost popped out of my head. This woman is just too damn rich. I set my chopsticks down and looked at her with utmost seriousness. So, you're saying the two of us are legally married right now, right?
Are you planning to split our marital assets?
Hey, half of your wealth belongs to me.
Which means Wait, should I take my clothes off?
Right now? Isn't that a bit inappropriate? Maybe we should head back to our bedroom? Anyway, Ziyakin and I are already married. Even if I strip, so what? It's not like I'm the one losing out here. My smile was radiant, without a single trace of gloom. Seeing my absolute delight, Ziyanan couldn't help but facepalm. Did he really lose his memory this time? The obsessed Chen could never hide his disgust for me, no matter how hard he tried to fake it. No, I still need to keep a close eye on Chen. We actually have a prenuptial agreement.
And according to that prenup, if we divorce, you leave empty-handed.
My face instantly fell. Talk about a total blow to my defenses. You actually guarded against me? Sayakan, I never expected you to be this kind of person. I am so disappointed in you. When we got married, you were the one who actively brought it up. I brought it up? Why? Was I pre-debt? Did I throw away all that money just to act noble? Because back then, you didn't really want to marry me at all. You were only so heartbroken by Wan Tian at the time that you reluctantly agreed to marry me. You were also the one who insisted on signing the prenup. You repeatedly emphasized to me that we were just a fake couple. How did we even get married? And who on earth is Yan Tinyan anyway? I continued to press her for answers. But just as I asked that question, my gaze drifted to the bullet comments again. Hubby Chen. Wan Tinyan is your real wife. Oh, please. His wife is Ziyakin, and they're legally married.
Wei Fizhe and Hubby Chen are a match made in heaven.
You people who want the second female lead to win are out of your minds. A cheater doesn't deserve to be the female lead at all.
Please, once the male lead gets his memory back, he will definitely return to the female lead side.
You clowns, stop trying to ruin the official couple, okay? From these bullet comments, I've pretty much figured out that I'm the kind of guy who'd unplug his own oxygen tube. And that Yatinian girl is the female lead, while I'm the brain-dead, love-struck male lead. She's the villainous second female lead, and the other one is the cheating female lead. But what does this woman even look like to actually make me want to commit suicide for her? Yakan hesitated for a long time.
Before she said, specific. Yuan Jantian is your first love.
For her sake, you've been constantly lying to me. Nothing but deception and endless lies. Why on earth did I sign a prenuptial agreement? I was such a complete idiot. Seeing me like this, Ziyakin said, "Ah, Che, did you wake up this morning with amnesia? You're already starting to curse yourself. Should I call the family doctor?" I shook my head. "No need. I'm fine."
Ziyan took in all of my abnormal behavior. This is too weird. Chen's actions today are just too bizarre. Could he have secretly gotten back in touch with Yan Tian?
What did Wan Ting say to him this time? Is this amnesia really just a carefully planned act? Just to make me lower my guard?
But everything feels like how it used to be.
Back to when Chen didn't love Wan Tinyan.
Siyakin's gaze turned cold. Suspicion grew wildly in her heart, like spreading vines. After Siyakin finished breakfast, she still had work to handle at the company and was getting ready to head out. I wasn't done eating yet, but seeing her about to leave, I quickly followed her and casually asked, "Where are you going?" "Work." I nodded. "Oh, forgot. What about me? Where do I work? You're not allowed to leave the house." I looked up and asked, "Why?"
Do you think I'm lying to you?
Your credibility with me is pretty low. But I really don't remember anything from the past 6 years. I don't even remember who that Ron or Flat girl is.
What else could I possibly do? Since you've forgotten, think.
Then just stay home and behave. You're not allowed to go out. And don't even think about running away.
There are bodyguards all over the house. Sayakin looked at me with total distrust. I said, what about my phone? I've already agreed to stay inside, but you've at least got to give me some entertainment, right?
I'll have someone bring you a new one later. I smiled and gave her an okay gesture. The second Sayakin stepped out of the door. She ordered her bodyguards. Watch him closely. He is not allowed to go anywhere.
And absolutely do not let him meet anyone.
Especially one Tinian.
Understood, President Say.
President Say, there is a crucial bidding meeting tonight.
It is a major bid involving the Psy Group, the Wan Group, and several other companies.
Xia Tan's assistant stood beside her, reporting today's schedule.
The assistant also knew about what happened to me this morning, and she couldn't help but feel worried.
Every time the young master pulls a stunt like this, it's always to help the Wan family snatch our projects.
Although the Xi Group isn't the Wan Group's only competitor,
The Say Group is their strongest competitor.
The assistant knew about my situation this morning,
and she was naturally worried. If they can just take down the Xi Group, no one else will stand a chance against them. Just say what's on your mind.
President Say, do you think the young master could be faking it?
Just to make you let your guard down, and then stab you in the back at the banquet? He has already ruined so many of our company's partnerships.
But you always spoil him so much, President Say.
Even if it costs us millions in profit. Even with the shareholders furious, you still refuse to divorce him.
The young master is seriously blind.
How could he ignore such an amazing wife? Why does he have to throw himself at that toxic woman?
I really feel it's just not worth it for President Say.
If that's the case, you should have a backup plan ready.
No matter what happens, we must secure this project this time. Do not let his antics throw you off your game.
You are absolutely right, President Sai.
Back at home, after eating and drinking my fill, I sank back onto the bed.
Honestly,
this bed is absolutely massive. The sheets are pure silk, incredibly soft and smooth. Even the mattress is super plush. It's even a smart, adjustable bed. I feel like I don't even need to go to the living room anymore. The Qiao and Zai families used to be just moderately well off, so we could afford high-end furniture like this. But definitely not a massive villa like this. I still haven't figured out how this girl, Yaqian, got so incredibly rich. How did she become so insanely successful? I watched as the bullet comments continued to roll across my screen in real time.
It was all just useless junk and complete nonsense. There wasn't a single piece of actual useful information.
I didn't even bother looking at it anymore and went back to scrolling through my phone. Suddenly, my phone buzzed with a new message. A trend. Today's project is extremely important. You must help me stall Yaqian. Once I bring down the Say Corporation, we'll get married.
Just as I was completely baffled, I looked up at the bullet comments floating in the air. Wow, the female lead actually has the nerve to play the male lead like a fool.
The male lead will definitely agree.
He is so head over heels for her. But who knows? He's lost his memory now anyway. Who would even remember she's the female lead?
His memory loss hasn't even been confirmed yet. Maybe he's just faking it to throw off the second female lead.
Today's project is crucial.
Whoever gets it will leave the other miles behind.
Please, male lead, stop causing drama. Now, I finally got it. So, the person messaging me was none other than that toxic, manipulative gold digger. I rolled over and went right back to scrolling through my phone.
Another 10 minutes passed. I still hadn't sent a single reply.
Yuan Tianjin finally realized something was off.
She started pouring on the sweet talk, trying to manipulate me into doing her dirty work, annoyed by her constant pestering. I blocked her. Yuan Tianjin never expected that I would actually block her.
How could he like me?
Have I been ignoring him too much lately? She immediately tried to send a few more sweet messages. Basically, she claimed that her relationships with other men were all fake. They were purely professional partnerships. The only person she truly loved was me.
And all her hustling was just so she could marry me.
Even securing this project was just to give us a better future. So I directly replied, WeChat transfer me $5 million first. Let's see if you've got the cash to back up those words.
Yan Tangchijian immediately lost her temper. Chen, you've changed. You never used to be this materialistic.
You used to be so innocent. Pure, beautiful, and kind. Like driven snow.
Have you been spending too much time with Yaqian? She's rubbing off on you. You need to stay away from her.
I'm working myself to the bone for our future right now.
Why can't you just help me? Why can't you show some understanding?
I frowned, seriously questioning my own past life choices. I muttered to myself, could I really fall for a trashy girl like her? Did I travel through time, or did I just lose my memory? But no matter what, there's no way I'd ever like a trashy girl like her.
I couldn't be bothered to waste another word on that idiot anyway.
So I blocked his number too, and turned right back to playing on my phone. Meanwhile, on the way to the bidding event, Danny Wang from the Say estate called Qiao Chen. Hello?
Yaqian could even ask why she was calling.
Miss,
Master has been vomiting non-stop at home, and his stomach hurts so bad. He's literally rolling on the floor in pain.
Where is the family doctor?
I just called him. He'll be here any second. Master wants to call an ambulance, but the bodyguards won't let him. They said they need your permission first. Tell those idiots to call 911 right now. If anything happens to him, every single one of them can pack their bags and get out. She immediately dialed 911, not daring to waste another second,
Yaka hung up the phone.
and ordered the driver. Turn the car around. But President Tsai, our bidding meeting is about to start, and Master suddenly gets a stomach ache right now of all times. Her assistant, Juju, warned from the front seat. Yaga replied, I know it, but to me, Chen always comes first. Even if every single boy who cried wolf story is just a trick to fool me, I will still choose to believe him next time. He can throw tantrums and lie to me countless times, but I cannot ignore him even once.
I've never been a lucky person.
I cannot lose Chen. I can't bear the pain of losing him.
Juxia opened her mouth, wanting to argue further, but in the end, she only whispered, Yes, ma'am. The black Rolls Royce.
Right at the intersection before entering the bidding venue, Fefli turned around and sped off in the direction of the Tsai mansion.
Yakan took a deep breath.
It's not like I haven't considered that this could be another carefully staged accident. The timing is just too convenient. Maybe the whole point was to keep me from going to the bidding. But I have no choice. I can't afford to gamble. I don't dare to take that risk. Even if the story of the boy who cried wolf plays out 100 times, and for the 101st time, I will run to Chen without a single doubt. Just then, her phone vibrated. It was a message from Mrs. Wang. The ambulance had arrived, and they were rushing her husband to the hospital. Chetro was frantically typing on her tablet, trying to postpone the bidding. Meanwhile, Yakin stared anxiously out the window. The car screeched to a halt right in front of the emergency room. Before the car even fully stopped, Yakin threw the door open and bolted inside. Outside the emergency room, Mrs. Wang and a few bodyguards were waiting anxiously. Mrs. Wang saw her. Miss Yakin's voice shook violently as she interrupted. Where is my husband? He's inside. The doctors are examining him right now. Yakin rushed over to the emergency room door. Peering through the small glass window on the door, she could only see blurry figures moving hurriedly inside. She clenched her fists tight, forcing herself to stay calm. She turned around, her gaze landing on the bodyguards standing with their heads bowed. Who was the one that refused to let anyone call an ambulance? Her voice wasn't loud, but it was freezing cold, sharp enough to cut like ice. A tall bodyguard braced himself and took a step forward. Mr. C gave strict orders regarding your husband. If he wanted to use the emergency contacts or take a car out, we had to first... I hired you to guarantee his absolute safety, not to stand by and watch him suffer in agony. Yakan cut him off, her eyes blazing with suppressed rage. If anything happens to him, can any of you take responsibility? The bodyguards froze, terrified, not daring to utter another word. Just then, the doors to the emergency room swung open, and a doctor walked out. Yakan rushed forward immediately. Doctor, how is my husband?
It's acute gastroenteritis.
The patient is far too thin, and he doesn't seem to eat much normally.
This time, he ate way too much food all at once. His stomach couldn't handle the sudden load, which triggered severe spasms and vomiting. We've already administered medication. His pain has subsided now. He's out on 4 for observation right now. There shouldn't be any major issues. Don't worry. Yachen's heart finally settled back into her chest. But right after the relief, an overwhelming wave of exhaustion washed over her, leaving her weak. But more than anything, she felt relieved.
Yachen let out a long sigh of relief.
Thank you, doctor. Can I go in and see him now? Yes, but the patient needs to rest. Please keep it quiet.
Taka nodded.
He gently pushed the door open and walked in. I was lying on the hospital bed with my eyes closed. My face was still quite pale, and 4 needle was inserted into the back of my hand, and the clear medicine was dripping down slowly, drop by drop. Hearing footsteps, my eyelashes fluttered slightly, and I opened my eyes. When I saw it was her, a fleeting complex emotion flashed through my eyes. Something like surprise, yet mixed with something else, before it was instantly masked by a look of sheer exhaustion. Didn't you have an important meeting?
My voice was incredibly raspy.
An imperceptible glint flashed across Yan's eyes. Her voice was unbelievably gentle. How did you know about that? The second female lead suspects the male lead might have lured her away from the bidding on purpose. She had prepared well. Even if she wasn't there, her team was highly capable and wouldn't easily fail. The male lead just sheds a few tears, and the second female lead comes running to him, like a loyal dog. I'm all for the second female lead locking the male lead up. I want to see some obsessive locked-up romance. I actually intended to be completely honest with Yakan. After all, in my current memories, she's the only person I'm familiar with. I received a message on my phone today, telling me to keep you busy because of some important meeting. Yakan, you have to believe me. I have amnesia right now. Even if we don't get along. The fiddle? The fiddle? I would never help anyone else target you. Not to mention, I don't even know who he is right now. But even if I did, I still wouldn't let him ruin your career like this. Yak-an was clearly touched by my words.
If only we could stay like this forever.
Yak-an reached for my phone to verify what I said. In the past, I would have been incredibly nervous.
But this time, I calmly picked up my phone, unlocked it, and handed it over to her.
Then she saw the flirtatious text and sweet words sent by Yuan Tianyan.
Her eyes darkened again.
After reading the texts,
It was exactly as I had said. I really hadn't agreed to anything. My coming to the hospital was a pure coincidence. I just thought my 26-year-old self was way too skinny, so I wanted to eat more and nourish my body. But who knew my body was this fragile now?
it had been a long time since Qiao Chen had heard me ramble to her like this.
I wanted so badly to tell her every single little detail of my life.
It seemed like I really had forgotten about Wan Tenya. Once again, her eyes could hold my reflection.
Qiao Chen stayed by my side in the hospital, watching over me as I got my 4 drip.
Outside, the night was pitch black.
Only the occasional soft footsteps of a nurse echoed down the hallway.
The liquid in the 4 bottle dripped at a steady, even pace, if measuring time itself.
I leaned back against the raised hospital bed.
My face still a bit pale, but my eyes were unusually bright.
If desperate to dredge up a forgotten past from the fog, I asked her so many questions.
All about those 6 years.
All the things I had forgotten.
At first, Xiaocan only gave brief replies.
Even trying to change the subject.
To her, those 6 years were a series of heavy silences, filled with words she could never bring herself to say. They were the pain of watching me walk away, heading towards someone else,
and the deep-seated jealousy and helplessness that almost consumed her. Those were the most painful 6 years between her and me.
She didn't want to talk about it. Not even a single word. But every time she was about to fall completely silent,
her gaze would lock with mine.
There was no shadow of the past or lingering regret in my eyes.
Only pure curiosity, as clear as an early autumn stream,
without a single speck of dust from the past.
Faced with eyes like that,
she found herself unable to build up her walls.
In the end, I managed to pry those bitter fragments out of her, bit by bit. That one girl, or whatever. How did I even meet her?
Xiaocan's fingers mindlessly traced the edge of the bed rail.
The coldness of the metal seeped through her fingertips.
Her voice was flat,
completely devoid of emotion.
Only he knew
that the old buried rage in his chest was starting to smolder all over again.
Ren Tintian was a graduate student at our university.
When you sprained your ankle, I was the one who carried you to the campus clinic.
She paused for a moment, as if she could still feel the weight of me leaning against her all those years ago. After that, for every single follow-up checkup, I was always the one by your side.
But by the last appointment, you had practically recovered.
I saw you could walk just fine.
And since I had something else to do that day, I didn't go with you.
That was when you met her. Just that one absence. Just that one time. I had stayed by your side every single time, never leaving you for a second.
But I couldn't beat destiny's twisted arrangement, which made Chen fall in love with another woman at first sight.
Even now, thinking about it feels like a tiny thorn
pierced deep into the softest part of my heart.
And then, I asked, as if listening to a story that had absolutely nothing to do with me.
You started keeping secrets from me back then. We were sneaking around every day, completely absent-minded.
My own project was at a critical stage,
and I was so busy I lost track of day and night.
By the time I finally had the energy to look for you,
you came to me and told me that you were going to confess your love to Wan Tanya.
The hospital room fell dead silent for a moment,
with only the faint, steady hum of the medical monitors.
Then, how did we end up getting married? My brow furrowed in deep confusion
as I asked the one question that had been tormenting me ever since I woke up this morning.
Later, you found out Wan Tinyan was flirting with other guys besides you.
In a fit of rage, you came to me and demanded a flash marriage. You looked just like a stray, abandoned puppy back then.
My heart softened, and I agreed.
For truth was, I was the one desperately begging for her back then.
And only when I was consumed with regret did she finally give me a chance.
Wait, was I a homewrecker?
I was made the other man? I bolted upright from the bed,
my voice cracking with sheer shock and fury.
The sudden movement yanked the 4 needle in the back of my hand, sending a sharp, stinging pain through my skin. At first, I was in absolute disbelief,
but then a wave of pure absurdity washed over me.
I honestly didn't even know how to react.
I asked Xiaocan about everything that had happened over the last 6 years.
I wanted to hear his answer, but even more, I wanted to see what the live comments would say.
But the female lead fell in love at first sight. Childhood sweethearts can never beat a destined match. The second female lead didn't stand a chance. The female lead was just faking it, with everyone else. Her feelings were only real for the male lead. Oh, please! She was flirting with everyone.
How many times did the male lead break down because of her?
Yan Tingtian
is the heir to the One family,
but her father having so many illegitimate children. She naturally had to secure her power first. Every scheme she pulled on others, except for the male lead, was just for show. Just an act? Then why didn't she call off her engagement and be with him? And when the male lead was getting cyberbullied and called a homewrecker, she went into hiding. You call that love? The comment section was practically at war as I listened to Qiao Chen's brief yet heavy explanation.
The puzzle of Wan Tanian's past 6 years finally began to piece together in my mind.
She was wildly ambitious, climbed her way into her family's power structure, while refusing to let go of her feelings for me.
So she kept stringing me along with promises of true love. Until the truth finally came out.
I was the one who took all the blame and backlash, while the person who claimed to love me didn't even bother to stand up and protect me. This plot is straight out of a trashy, old-school romance novel. I honestly couldn't wrap my head around it.
Was that absolute idiot really me?
This isn't my style at all.
How on earth did I end up so stupid?
The last few drops of the 4 finally trickled down.
I could finally leave this hospital that smelled of disinfectant. My eyes immediately glued themselves to that Rolls Royce.
My eyes lit up with excitement.
Your car is absolutely gorgeous.
My fingers gently brushed against the sleek door.
28 million.
I suddenly turned my head.
A trace of bitter longing in my voice. If I hadn't run into that Wan Tanian back then, would I have built a successful business?
And made an absolute fortune too?
Then I could have bought luxury villas and sports cars with my own hard work. I paused, raising my chin slightly.
Daydreaming a bit defensively, I added, I'd even spoil some hot female models or something. What do you mean, keep who? None of your business.
I'm definitely keeping female models. 6 years of my prime youth were stolen from me for absolutely nothing.
6 whole years. And I haven't even properly held a girl's hand.
And the second I wake up, I'm suddenly legally bound to you. I just wanted to hire some female models. What's so wrong with that?
The fleeting warmth from when I was on the 4 had completely vanished by now.
Confronting Qiao Chen.
I fell right back into our old bickering dynamic from years ago, saying whatever popped into my head
And jumping into the car to go home. Without a single care. I deliberately walked right past her, pulled open the rear door, and slid right in, practically treating her like my personal chauffeur. Seeing how childish yet full of life I was, Qiao Chen felt that familiar sensation rush back into her heart. Her red lips couldn't help but curl into a soft smile.
She opened the rear door, trying her best to yank me out. I rarely got to see such a childish side of it.
I just went along with her push and let her shove me into the passenger seat. Think, are you seriously treating me like your personal driver? You should be secretly thrilled to drive this young master around. Qiao Chen didn't say another word. The Rolls Royce silently slipped into the night,
Heading toward the Say residence.
Once we arrived at the house, I lingered in the passenger seat, letting Qiao Chen stubbornly, almost childishly, tug at me. The servants waiting at the entrance had never seen the young lady and her husband acting this close.
In the past, they either gave each other the cold shoulder or had explosive arguments. But today, it was like they were completely different people. One was being playful, while the other was smiling. It seemed the ice was finally melting between the young couple.
Qiao Chen linked her arm through mine, walking us through the hallway and straight into the master bedroom. She gently pushed me down to sit on the bed,
While her face flushed red with embarrassment.
her unexpected gentleness caught me off guard.
I blurted out, "You've really changed a lot. You trying to call me old again? Don't forget we're the exact same age. You're still a whole week older than me. You know, so, are you trying to call me old in a roundabout way?"
No, I'm not.
Qiao Chen turned and walked toward the closet. A faint smile played on her lips. "Go take a shower first, before we go to bed." My mind immediately starts to wander. Think about what might happen after she showers. I ask her, full of suspicion, "I'll even chain you up. Just to make sure you don't sneak off in the middle of the night." "This is kidnapping. You're holding me hostage." "I'm calling the cops." "Oh, go ahead. Call them. We're legally married." "I'll just tell the officers that this is just a little bedroom roleplay between husband and wife." "Do you really think they'll interfere?"
Qiao Chen, you shameless woman.
When I finally step out of the bathroom, I'm wearing nothing but my pajamas. For some reason, Qiao Chen looks suddenly flustered. She quickly stands up and slips into the bathroom herself. Just then, her phone on the nightstand lights up.
Present Sai, the bidding results are in.
"We won!"
The young group has been disqualified.
After showering,
Qiao Chen quickly dries herself off.
and pushes open the bathroom door. But the bedroom is completely empty. I'm nowhere to be found. Qiao Chen's breath catches in her throat. It feels as though she's suddenly plunged into an icy abyss. Did Chen lie to her again? Has he vanished from her life once more? Her voice trembles with a barely hidden panic as she calls out. There is only dead silence. A suffocating dread completely washes over her.
Qiao Chen.
"Someone, find my husband! Search everywhere! Now, right this instant!" Just then, a soft click echoes. At the end of the hallway,
A door is pulled open, letting in a slight draft.
"Stop shouting already!" I grumble, my face written with sheer annoyance at being disturbed. My tone is incredibly sharp. "It's the middle of the night! Who are you trying to wake up? The dead? Can't a person get some sleep?" Seeing that I'm still here, Yan finally breathes a sigh of relief. Seeing him panic to the point of losing his mind, a setting wave of guilt washed over me. Before I traveled back in time, when I sprained my ankle, Qiao Chen had helped me all the way to the school clinic,
Constantly nagging me the whole time.
That's what you get for showing off. Serves you right. He kept scolding me, saying, "You went and twisted your ankle, and you're still acting so smug? Watch it, or you're going to sprain the other one too." Before he could even finish, I deliberately wiggled my leg, and he shut up instantly. Although 20-year-old Qiao Chen had a smart mouth, whenever anything happened to me, he was always the first to show up, even for the most trivial, meaningless little things.
The 26-year-old ZYN is so cold to me.
Yet, he's still worrying about me. Right now, my mind is still young, and we aren't really on the same wavelength, so I didn't hold back at all when I spoke.
You have a crush on me.
It wasn't a question. We don't even have a shred of friendship. My tone was so certain that ZYN abruptly stopped in his tracks. Crush on you? In your dreams? Get back to the room with me. You're not allowed to stay here. The comments exploded again. I quickly scanned through the bickering on screen, but didn't get a single piece of useful information, and I wasn't in the mood to dig deeper anyway.
Qiao Chen was already standing right in front of me.
Are you walking back yourself? Or do you want me to find someone to carry you? His eyes were clear, and his words weren't open for discussion. It was an ultimatum. I looked away and said guiltily, "I'll just sleep in the guest room. It's not like I'm going to run away. I have no interest in you. Look how skinny you've gotten." I instinctively looked down at myself. I indeed looked sickly thin, but I caught a fleeting glimpse of pain in his eyes. It's like, at the exact same time he stabbed me, he also ended up cutting himself. Then why do you insist on keeping me tied up? I know too much has happened over the years. The way he treats us. It's all connected to this. It's connected to my lost memories, isn't it? Before we got married, you were constantly tangled up with Wan Tanyan, torturing yourself until you were barely even human. Even after we got married, I gave you your freedom at first. But the very first time you went to see her, you came back, went on a 3-day hunger strike, and demanded a divorce. I refused. But I didn't stop you from seeing her either. I even sent bodyguards to protect you in secret. The next time I saw you, you got yourself hurt several times because of her.
Oh, well, I forgot to tell you.
Using your connections to snatch up various business partnerships, leeching off of both you and me, just to build herself up. She never kept her promise to marry you. It didn't even call off her engagement. Yet, you still slit your wrists for her, hoarding sleeping pills and making these dramatic scenes about wanting to die. And when her childhood friend needed a kidney, you actually wanted to donate yours to him. Thank goodness I stopped you and locked you at home. Otherwise, you wouldn't just be skin and bones right now. You would have been a pile of bones long ago. Ever since then, I had people watch you during the day, and I lock you up at night to sleep by my side. Don't even think about running away. Is that really me? Isn't this just a total idiot? Is this really who I was? The more I listened, the worse my expression became, sinking into deep doubt about whether the author of this novel has a seriously twisted worldview. I really couldn't empathize with any of this, but I didn't dwell on it too much. Anyway, I've forgotten everything, so I just tried to defend myself. But haven't I forgotten all of that now? I'm doing this to prevent you from suddenly remembering and throwing another life and death tantrum. You have to come back with me. Don't bother resisting. I'm not interested in you. I relented. Moved by how she stayed by my side and never abandoned me all these years. Qiao Chen might have a sharp tongue, but she is still family. The kind who never gave up on me. Fine, fine. Honestly, looking at myself, even I wouldn't be interested. Qiao Chen led me back to the master bedroom and expertly chained us together. She's a woman of her word. Lying on the other side of the bed, I still couldn't fall asleep.
Faizil Yetin's bed is really comfortable.
Qiao Chen was exhausted after a long day and had been startled twice. She just muttered, "Go to sleep already." The next morning, the faint clinking of metal was incredibly sharp in the quiet room.
Qiao Chen moved very gently.
But the cold metal still seeped into the edges of my consciousness.
So noisy. I don't have classes this morning.
I frowned, grumbling. Can't you just let me get some decent sleep? I subconsciously buried my face in the pillow. Get up and eat breakfast first. A woman's voice cut in. If you want to sleep, good it after you've had breakfast. I kept my eyes closed. My groggy brain, struggling to make sense of things. Since when was there a woman in my dorm? Suddenly the fragments of my memory snapped into place. I sat bolt upright, as if I'd been burned. Your memory is actually pretty good. You even remember you don't have classes this morning. I didn't answer. I just sat there on the bed, sinking deeper into a daze of confusion. Everything from 6 years ago feels like it happened just yesterday.
But the woman standing before me, and the subtle different sensations in my own body, silently told me
that 6 years have indeed passed.
This doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all.
Amnesia makes you forget things.
But how could I remember things from the distant past so vividly? But last,
It completely lose the long 6 years in between. An even more bizarre and almost sci-fi thought uncontrollably popped into my head. Could I have traveled through time?
Come downstairs and eat breakfast.
Eat a bit less today. Think.
Don't eat yourself into the hospital again like yesterday. I muttered a response, watching her slender figure walk away.
The door clicked shut softly behind her.
I collapsed backward onto the bed, pulling the blanket over my head.
In the darkness, I continued to wrestle with that shocking realization.
Sorry to bother you, but I'm late.
My entire body froze. In an instant, I ripped off the blanket, scanning the empty room with a sharp gaze. Who's in this room?
Hello, dummy. I'm not in the room.
I'm inside your head. Inside my head? Auditory hallucinations?
Is this a precursor to schizophrenia? I couldn't stay calm anymore. Flinging the blanket aside, I jumped out of bed and dashed out of the room barefoot.
I ran downstairs, clutching my head.
Desperately trying to shake that creepy voice out of my skull.
Yaken, who was eating breakfast in the dining room, heard my panicked scream and immediately dropped her utensils, rushing toward the stairs. She had barely climbed a few steps when I crashed right into her arms.
What's wrong?
Her eyes quickly swept over my pale face.
I grabbed her arm like a drowning person, clutching a lifeline, words pouring out of me in a frantic rush. My voice was still trembling. I heard a strange voice. It said it's inside my head.
Yeket, am I really losing my mind?
Am I having schizophrenic hallucinations?
What are you talking about? Why are you just mouthing words? Where is your voice?
Yuan just knitted a brow slightly,
Looking at me in utter confusion. My frantic explanation came to a screeching halt.
Are you deaf? I was pouring my heart out to you, but that sharp accusation, "Are you deaf?" reached her ears loud and clear.
Yahan's face immediately turned cold. Looking utterly betrayed, I protested.
I just said so much.
And you didn't hear a single word of it?
I said, "Are you deaf?"
Your ears are pretty sharp, aren't they? I was both anxious and frustrated. For a moment, my anger boiled over, drowning out the fear. You really didn't make a single sound just now.
MMGA. Auditory hallucinations.
And now, you can't even speak. He didn't dare waste another second.
We're going to the hospital. Right now.
Just then,
That voice echoed in my head once again, carrying a calm, reassuring tone. Don't be afraid, host.
I'm not some creep.
And you don't have schizophrenia. I am System 0137. System 0137. My struggles instantly froze. My chaotic thoughts were suddenly dragged in a completely new direction by this bizarre term.
I repeated it in my mind, dazed.
Yes, Soaks. System 0137's voice was completely flat and calm. My apologies.
I was supposed to link up with you yesterday, but headquarters called an emergency meeting.
That is why I am only connecting with you now.
Also, you cannot mention my existence to anyone else. Any attempt to do so will be automatically censored. We can communicate directly in your mind.
This is both safe.
And it won't make others think you're going crazy.
I see. It wasn't that Ziyaki had gone deaf. My words were being censored. Realization dawned on me. My frayed nerves miraculously relaxed. I even felt a wave of absurd curiosity wash over me. 0137? Sounds like the end of a phone number, I muttered in my head.
System 0137 fell silent for a moment.
Then, an emoji was projected directly into my mind.
Even emojis. My eyes widened in shock. I almost screamed out loud.
Qiao
Chen's voice dragged us back to reality.
He stared at the rapidly changing expressions on my face, his anxiety reaching its absolute peak.
Amnesia yesterday, and now aphasia and hallucinations.
And now, I'm just staring blankly into thin air again, with a bizarre look on my face, like all my symptoms are piling up. It's really not looking good.
Are you okay? We have to go to the hospital right now.
That completely snapped me out of it. Seeing the undisguised worry and sheer determination in her eyes, I frantically waved my hands in denial, trying my best to look normal. No, I'm fine. Really. I was just a little cranky waking up. My head is still a bit fuzzy, that's all.
Let's eat breakfast.
I'm hungry. Ziyakin looked at me, half believing, half skeptical. Once we finished breakfast,
She called the family doctor before heading off to the office.
but while the doctor was examining me, a middle-aged man suddenly rushed in, sobbing.
Young master, I beg you, please plead with the young mistress for me.
Don't let her fire me! Having only the mind of a 20-year-old now,
How could I handle an elder kneeling before me?
I quickly reached out to help him up. Please, stand up first.
He can talk this through. Young master, I have elderly parents to support, and my 2 sons are still in college. I really can't lose this job.
Meanwhile, the bodyguards quickly reported the situation at the villa to Ziyakan.
The phone number was only changed yesterday, yet one Tinian found out the very same day. There really is a mole in the house.
Yan Taemin was keeping close tabs on the company's moves, while keeping Chen at arm's length. deliberately teasing him.
Does she really think I, Zayakan, am just a pushover? But after hearing what the man had actually done, every last shred of my sympathy completely vanished.
Keeping a backstabbing double-crosser around is like keeping a ticking time bomb. It's far too dangerous.
If you can sell out ZYN today, you'll sell out anyone tomorrow. Today, you're leaking information. Tomorrow, who knows? You might be taking someone's life.
The Sai family has no room for someone like you.
I'll have your wages settled according to market standards. But if you keep making a scene, then I will sue them for violating the employee handbook and demand compensation.
The bodyguard relayed my words to Siakan, word for word.
Sayatan's cold expression gradually softened. The family doctor's examination showed that there was nothing wrong with my body. Aside from being too thin, I was perfectly fine. Zayakan's mood completely brightened up. This was his happiest day in years. I hope Chen plays along with this amnesia act a bit longer, he thought. But this time, I will never let you escape. He really seems to have forgotten.
In that case, don't ever remember.
Stay by my side. Forever. And do so willingly. I went back to the bedroom, lay down, and started talking to the system in my head. 0137, can you change your designation? Otherwise, people might think my food delivery has arrived. Sure. How would you like me to address you? Drop the formal tone. I still feel pretty young. Also, can you change your speech mode? You sound way too calm. So cold and robotic. Understood. Everything can be adjusted. How about a cheerful and friendly personality? Sure. Just don't sound so much like a machine. Otherwise, I won't even feel like talking to you. As for your name, why don't you first introduce what you can do? I am from the male lead department. My main mission is to save the male lead. Simply put, I'm here to help you. Help me. Why would I need saving? Are you talking about Ziyakin stalking me? Or Yan Tianqin hurting me?
Host, there is something I must tell you first.
You need to brace yourself. The world we are in is actually a novel. I already know that. Wait, how do you know? That shouldn't be possible.
I just got here and haven't said a thing yet.
Did another character tell you?
And you just believe them?
Wait, that's not right either. Is there something you want to say? I can see the bullet comments. Is this a bug in your system?
My mistake. I was called back for a meeting right after I arrived yesterday, and I must have accidentally left the comment overlay enabled.
So you've already learned about this world through the comments? Not really. The viewers in the comments are always either playing cards or arguing with each other. There isn't much useful information. All I know is that I'm some brain-dead simp of a male lead, and Zayakin is the villainous second female lead, not to mention a female lead who's a serial cheater. Host, please don't talk about yourself that way. As the male lead, you must be confident and strong. This entire world was created just for you. The female lead and the second female lead indeed deserve harsh criticism. Are you sure I'm the center of the universe? Then why do all the resources, connections, and perks go straight to the female lead? Look at how skinny I am right now. Even I hate how my own bones are poking through. This is a very old-school novel. Back then, tragic tropes like emotional torment and family ruin were all the rage. But that style is completely outdated now. This novel's world has reset and looped over and over again. But in the last few loops, this world has gradually veered off track. Especially during the last loop. After the second female lead turned dark, she straight up murdered the female lead. And finally, she ended her own life right in front of you. With all the main characters dead, the world reset. And in this current loop, the second female lead's behavior has become abnormal once more. Wait. What did you just say? I died? But aren't I the male lead? How the hell did I die? Who is supposed to be the center of this world again? Is the female lead the author's favorite child? While the male lead was just adopted. Why the hell do I have to die? Am I destined to die? Before I do, you'd better drag that gold digger Runtinian to hell with me first. Visiti. System 0137 has detected a disruption alarm. Host, please calm down.
We, the system, are here to help you.
Help you reach a happy ending. If helping means fixing the original plot and making me live happily ever after with Hua Chanti, I might as well go and stab her to death right now.
Who is that ending supposed to please?
It's sickening. Who would ever like a woman like her? Whoever likes her can go spend the rest of their life with her. Please calm down. Our male lead department has high clearance, and besides, those old school tropes are totally outdated now.
You can decide your own ending.
You can choose to end up with a second female lead, or you can even go down the solo, no romance powerhouse male lead route. That's more like it. That's more most like it. All I want is a happy, complete ending. How about I call you Tuan Yuan? Understood, host? Our goal is ultimate happiness. Here's to a great partnership. Wait, you still haven't told me what features you actually have. How exactly do you plan on helping me?
That comment feed of yours is more of a nuisance than a help. They argue all day long, it's driving me crazy. Tuan Wild apologizes. I'm so sorry, host. I'll turn it off right now. If you ever want to check it again, you can just adjust it in your mind.
You need to complete the main quest to increase your happiness progress. You'll unlock rewards every time you reach a new milestone. And the grand prize at the very end is growing old together in perfect harmony. Even if you don't end up with a partner, you'll still live a peaceful, safe life until the very end. Growing old together is considered a grand prize? What if my luck is terrible and the person I choose betrays me again? What then? You can dump him and swap him out whenever you want. Whoever you choose next will just inherit that grand prize instead. A male lead system would always put the male lead first. I guess I'm satisfied. But I still have a question. Just 2 days ago, I was clearly still in college. Now suddenly I've been married for 4 years? How is that even possible?
Well, let me make up a good excuse, I mean.
No, let me explain. At the very beginning of the story, I took you to headquarters to link up with the main server. Of course, characters in a novel won't have any memory of the overall storyline. I took too long upgrading my system. You and I were actually supposed to arrive 6 years ago, but the headquarters network lagged, delaying my upgrade. 1 day at headquarters is a whole year in these minor worlds. I wanted to fix it and go back to at least when you were newly married. But it didn't work, and we ended up in this even worse present. Now you've been hurt physically and emotionally, and I was supposed to be a college student.
Are you 1, 2?
But this is just way too unreliable. What are you even getting so worked up about? I'm a system that just graduated from college this year. And you're actually my very first host. What? Are you even reliable? Well, I'm not that reliable myself. Now I'm really starting to doubt your abilities. But I have confidence. I believe you'll definitely find happiness. But wait, 6 years of my life in this world just vanished for no reason? So did I actually exist during those 6 years? Or not? But you were indeed in this world. And the storyline of the novel was still playing out.
Those 6 years were just the world's program running.
Commonly known as autopilot. Well, if it can run on autopilot, then what do you even need me for?
Normally, the novel's plot dictates that I would follow this exact path anyway.
And the autopilot would have just run the same program. Then what makes me any different from him? Besides, that is completely out of character for me. There's no way I would ever do something so stupid.
The difference is, when that automated body gets hurt,
It feels absolutely no pain. It has no emotions and no thoughts. But you do. If I actually have a mind of my own. And why the hell would I do something so incredibly stupid? That wasn't me. It was absolutely not me. Everyone else just plays their part in the script, and then they're done. But you're different. Your beginning and your ending. They aren't controlled by the storyline. You can live your life exactly how you want. But that middle part where my life was controlled by the plot? That puppet wasn't me. It was nothing but a puppet on strings, forced to live out a script, written by someone else. I had absolutely no say in any of it. That person in the script, and the real me, we are two completely different people. I can't comprehend how he thinks, and I would never act the way he did. Making me play the fool, time after time. Again, and again. If it was just once, fine. But there is no way in hell I'd be that stupid every single time. It is completely normal for you to feel like that person in the script isn't you. Because the one chained to the storyline is not the real you. Only the life you choose to live on your own terms is the real you. Either way, I will never admit those 6 years were mine. It was way too idiotic. I would never do something like that. Oh, by the way,
what is your special ability? Anyway,
my ability is to rewind time. Up to 3 times. Perfect. Rewind me to 6 years ago, right now. We will start from 6 years ago. Wait, time rewinds can only be done over a short-term period. Fine. Let's save that skill for later then. What are the stage rewards for the main storyline? You did say this was a main mission, right? Which means there are side quests in addition to the main storyline, right? The reward is a mystery box. Even I don't know what you'll get from it.
side quests will be triggered randomly depending on the characters you encounter.
You can choose whether you want to take them on or not. Sounds pretty interesting. The side group successfully secured the project, pocketing a highly lucrative, guaranteed profit venture. This meant the Say group would break away from the pack of fiercely competing rivals and rise to the very top. The night the results were announced, Wan Tianyang locked himself inside the CEO's office on the top floor of the Wan Tower. He was the only one left on the entire floor. The bidding results notification email still sat coldly on the computer screen. Every single word pierced his eyes like a needle. He slowly stood up and walked over to the floor-to-ceiling window, looking out at the glittering nightscape of High City. This business empire he thought he was about to conquer now seemed to mock his utter incompetence. In a fit of rage, he began smashing everything in sight. Panting heavily after his outburst, he stood frozen in the middle of the wreckage. His long hair was disheveled, the loose strands on his forehead soaked with sweat. Then, his phone screen lit up. He didn't answer. He just stared at the flashing name on the screen. His eyes were cold and dark. 3 months ago, to secure the government,
bid
and secure a $500 million investment from the Qi family.
Yan Tang had signed a gambling agreement with Qi Yabai. If the project succeeded, the Qi family would get a 15% stake.
But if it failed, he had to repay the principal and interest at 20% annual interest within 3 years.
Using his own 8% founder's shares as collateral.
He had even given a solemn pledge to his father, Yan Fengtai. Though his father had stepped back from daily operations, he remained the actual controller of the company.
He valued capability over family bloodlines. With so many children already,
And several illegitimate ones outside. This crushing defeat meant Wan Tingyan's
position was now completely shattered.
The next morning,
Yan Tingyan forced himself to pull his thoughts together.
determined to make a comeback. He reached out to several small tech companies that had previously shown interest in partnering with him and began pushing through high-stakes, fast turnaround projects. He hoped these quick wins would win back his father's trust. By noon,
The call from Ji Yubai's father, Qi Zhongking, came right on schedule.
after a barrage of warnings and intense pressure, the line went dead.
The smile on Wan Tingyan's face vanished instantly.
Leaving behind a terrifyingly cold glare.
A few seconds later,
He slammed his phone onto his newly replaced desk.
that old fox. How dare he play me? Every single one of them. They all want to step on me while I'm down. Qiao grew even busier after securing the massive conquest project. But no matter how swamped he was, he still checked his phone the second the bodyguards sent their hourly updates on my situation at home. 3 hours had passed, and I hadn't stepped foot out of my room.
Qiao Chen had always been obsessively hyper-focused on me. A wave of unease hit him. Something wasn't right.
When he's this quiet, he's definitely up to no good. He ordered the bodyguard to knock on my door and check on me. Young master, are you in there? I'm playing video games.
What do you want?
Sir, the young master is just inside playing games. Everything is fine.
Only Wei Xiaqian heard my voice and realized nothing was wrong.
Did his anxious heart finally settle down?
Over the next few days, Qiao Chen spent his days working at the office,
While I stayed cooped up at home, playing video games.
Whenever I tried to go out during this time,
Sayecha immediately shot it down.
at night, we lay on opposite ends of a massive bed, tethered to each other by a single gold chain,
Keeping over a meter of distance between us. The only real annoyance was,
Since I wanted to gain weight quickly,
I started eating several extra meals a day.
I'd even eat and drink right before bed. Naturally, that meant having to invite Sayakan along whenever I needed to use the bathroom at night.
Being constantly woken up in the middle of the night.
Totally ruined his sleep.
Before long, whispers started circulating around the Zai Corporation.
That I was completely wearing their high and mighty CEO ragged.
明鸟一样听见我在付的钱袋，正账简单说。
She was busy trying to secure bids with smaller companies, ignoring how I'd humiliated and blocked her at the venue.
She had been anxious at first.
But when she realized I had actually kept my word and held Ziyakin back from attending the bidding, she became convinced that I still had feelings for her and was just throwing a tantrum. Too bad her people were utterly useless. Even with Sejan out of the way, they still lost the project. Later, when she found out I was hospitalized just to help her, she finally took some time out of her busy schedule to send me a text, acting all concerned. When I didn't reply, she assumed my freedom had been restricted, which was why I had gone silent. So, she sent a few texts to my old phone number. I'll keep this to confront him later. It's already been half a month since I transmigrated into this world. Whatever excitement I had at first has been completely drained by this confinement. Every day I wake up to the same luxurious, freezing cold bedroom, scrolling through short videos, watching other people actually live their lives. My knuckles are sore and aching from all the scrolling. I collapse onto the bed, toss my phone aside, and call out to my system 21. Can we start the main or side quests yet? I can't even see a single soul here. Just playing games in this room day in and day out. I'm about to get severe gamer's thumb. Host, why don't we just sneak out? If we run, won't we just trigger the original plot? Isn't the original plot just Ziyakin locking me up and me trying to escape?
Then getting hurt by Wan Tingyang.
Before being dragged back by Ziyachen again. My body is so incredibly weak right now. Before I'm even halfway recovered, I might just drop dead. That's true. Then you should focus on recovering first. Your health is your greatest asset. No matter what quest we do, you need a strong constitution. Oh, speaking of recovering, host, if you can get your weight back to normal, and it will count as completing the first stage of the happiness goal. What did you say? Getting healthy counts as completing a quest? Yes. For a happy ending, physical and mental health is the very first step. What's the standard for being healthy? At the very least, several of your vitals must meet healthy standards with no other underlying conditions. For you, host, it means gaining weight. I've worked hard for half a month and only gained 3 to 4 pounds. Host, your height is 188.8 centimeters. Your weight should be at least 140 pounds. Anything below that is highly unhealthy. I look down at my skin and bones body and nod. I toss my phone aside. Starting today, I need to eat more. Wait, I'll go downstairs and find Mama Wine. Tell her to start making me nourishing meals that'll help me gain some weight. Basically, whatever is most nourishing, make that. You got it, young master. Don't you worry. I'll make sure we get you nice and strong. But It seemed she had completely misread the situation. At the dinner table that evening, I stared at the mouth-watering spread and dug right in.
Qiao Chen's eyes slowly swept across the table.
Coral grilled oysters, juicy medium-rare steak,
Feculent deep-sea fish,
bright green chives scrambled with eggs, and a pot of ultimate stamina tonic soup. There was even a glass of goji berry tea sitting right next to it. The suggestive menu couldn't have been any more obvious. Miss, the young master ordered this especially for you this afternoon. He said that starting today, we need to make highly nourishing meals to boost your energy and build up your body.
Well, he's certainly thoughtful.
Zayan's lips twitched slightly.
She looked over at me. I was busy stuffing my face, slipping an oyster from its shell with one hand and shoving a piece of beef into my mouth with the other.
Sayetin closed her eyes for a brief moment.
Before dismissing Maid Wan.
Soon, the only sounds left in the dining room were the clinking of utensils and my intense chewing.
Is it good? Good. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. Maid Wan's cooking is incredible. The soup is so flavorful. I let out a loud, completely unrefined burp. She stared at me, realizing my eyes held nothing but pure appreciation for the food, with absolutely no hidden meaning. She suddenly felt her blushing earlier was a bit of embarrassing overthinking. She picked up her chopsticks, trying to look as natural as possible, and began to eat. Hurry up and eat! There's so much food. If you don't eat, I'm going to finish it all. With that, I poured myself another full bowl of soup, fully determined to carry out my weight-gaining plan to the very end. Qiao watched me inhale the food like a vacuum, and her eyelids started twitching again. She casually warned me, eat a little less. Don't gorge yourself like that, or your stomach will give out again, and you'll end up in the hospital like last time. No way. I was secretly calculating how many pounds I'd gained from this single meal. Fuguian was also monitoring my calorie intake in real time. It was still far from the red line, so I knew exactly what I was doing.
I picked up another piece of chives.
As Cyan watched me eat with absolute joy. And I ended up eating a whole lot more, too.
As the night grows heavy and deep, he lies on the bed, barely a meter away from me. His body heat feels warmer than usual,
and my own thoughts start to drift and stir. Lately, Qiao Chen really looks like he has forgotten everything that happened over the years.
This distance and indifference doesn't feel forced. No one could act this distant and real for so long.
Qiao Chen's mind unconsciously drifts back to before he was 20. Back to those youthful, carefree days.
Those feelings that had long been buried and withered unexpectedly start to revive in this peaceful quiet after his downfall.
That restless heart is beating fast and burning hot once again. But how could I have ever guessed the turmoil raging inside him? At first, I hated the idea of sharing a room and sleeping in the same space as him. But after living together for the past 2 weeks, I've slowly realized something.
Qiao just wants to keep me away from Montanchin.
Focusing solely on keeping me safe. Other than that, he doesn't seem to have any other motives. After a week of eating all these rich, nourishing meals and eating so much every single day, I've gained some noticeable weight. My once skinny arms and legs are finally looking a bit more filled out. One morning, I quietly step onto the scale and see the needle stop right at 110 pounds. I can't help but smile, turning left and right to admire myself in the mirror. But while I was making progress, Qiao, who was right there with me, seemed to have a slow, smoldering fire ignited inside him. At first, he just tosses and turns, unable to sleep at night. After all, he's in perfect, healthy shape, but eventually, it turns into a quiet kind of torture. He often wakes up suddenly in the middle of the night and can only stare quietly at me in the dim light as I sleep soundly beside him. I have absolutely no idea. Looking at me, so completely peaceful and trusting, the restless heat inside him finally melts into a helpless sigh. Whatever. I need to take things slow. He doesn't want to wake me from my deep sleep, nor does he want to force himself to take a cold shower. And he certainly can't bring himself to explain any of this to me. Another night arrives, and that familiar, restless heat hits him again, burning even deeper than before. Fine beads of sweat broke out on Qiao's forehead. He gently pulled back the blanket, took the key, and unlocked the chains on my wrists. Half asleep, I rolled over toward the middle of the bed, pressing right against the warm skin of his arm. He practically scrambled into the bathroom, as if fleeing for his life, desperately wanting to wash away those wild, chaotic thoughts. When I woke up this morning, I had absolutely no idea what had happened yesterday. I just got out of bed and went downstairs for breakfast, like any other day. Seeing my complexion get healthier by the day, Qiao felt incredibly relieved and happy deep down. Yeah, Ken, it's way too boring at home. I want to go out. Besides, I think I need a job. It's really not right for me to just lounge around your house like a parasite every single day. Hearing me describe myself that way, Qiao couldn't help but chuckle. Chen, you haven't changed a bit. When you reworth, you don't even spare yourself. I know you don't want me going out, but if I stay cooped up here any longer, I'm going to grow mold. I'm not that Qiao Chen who would lose his mind and die over some woman. I am the 20-year-old Qiao Chen. I want to move forward, to be hardworking, positive, and full of life. I want to have a job. Any job will do. If I don't know how, I can always learn. I don't want to be kept by you like a pet. It makes me feel like a stray cat or dog, not a real human being. Host, you're amazing. This is the real you.
See? The you that was bound by the plot wasn't the real you at all. Just look at how the bullet comments are praising you.
I want to be the master of my own life. I don't need to be extraordinary,
But I must have the right to make my own choices, to do what I want to do. And right now, all I want is to work,
reintegrate into society, and stand on my own 2 feet. To finally be my true self again. I haven't seen that side of you in years.
All right then, you'll be my personal assistant.
You'll stay by my side every single day.
No other options.
Annoyed, Qiao Chen huffed and glared at me.
What's with that look? What's with that face?
And what's with that attitude?
I get it. I said yes, okay?
Just thinking about being stuck with you 24 hours a day makes me sick. Are you happy with that reason now?
I was just worried you were lying to me. What if you use work as an excuse to secretly go see that Weniani again? And then you'll make some life or death scene where I have to rescue you. I just remembered what Tunwan said earlier about the last loop, where he killed Wen Chantian and then died with me.
To be honest, I really don't think Siyaxi would ever like me.
After all, we're not even that close.
Even having breakfast now turns into a petty argument. This has been happening constantly for the first 20 years of our lives. We can't say 2 words to each other without fighting. But then we make up just as quickly.
I really can't imagine why he made such a decision. Is Sayashi as crazy as Wen Tanyan?
Do they really have to wait until someone dies to finally realize how they feel? And finally regret it?
Oh, I get it now. Fine, if you want me to be your assistant, I'll be your assistant.
When the black sedan pulled up smoothly in front of the Zai Corporation entrance, the employees walking by couldn't help but slow their pace.
The car door opened,
And stepping out first was their young heiress and CEO, looking as cold and aloof as ever.
everyone's eyes were instantly drawn to me standing right beside her.
Seiyichin completely ignored the focused gazes around them, walking straight toward the executive elevator hand in hand with me. The crowd immediately erupted into hushed whispers. A few of the bolder employees quickly whipped out their phones, spanning the Zai family gossip group chat. What's going on? Assistant Chu, President Tsai brought a really handsome man with her.
The same Qiao Chen, who was always hysterical in everyone's memory.
The one who only had eyes for one Tian. President Tsai actually brought him to the company? With a soft ding, the executive elevator doors opened again.
Say Xiaoyan stepped out first.
With me following closely behind. The employees on the top floor instantly sat up straight, looking professional.
Come to my office.
Yes, Presidency. Assistant Zhu immediately pulled himself together and quickly followed them inside. Good morning, Presidency. Mr. Qiao, do you have any instructions?
Before the Yakan could speak,
I already looked up.
Yes, and your plan.
With an out-of-place look of excitement on my face. Could you please set up a workstation for me? I'm starting work here today. Am I hearing things? Otherwise, how could I hear this troublemaking husband of our CEO actually saying he's coming to work? This is practically a nightmare. He instinctively looked over at Siyecha, seeking confirmation with his eyes. Siyechen gave an almost imperceptible nod. Put an extra desk in my office. Let's turn off with some simple tasks first. No way! I want to sit outside with everyone else. Do as I say. Right now. My request wasn't granted, but that was completely expected. Xia Jin right now is a total tyrant. If you dare use work as an excuse to sneak out, don't even think about stepping foot out of the house. Ever again. The moment I walked out, I locked eyes with dozens of gossip-hungry coworkers who couldn't look away in time. Our eyes met, and the air instantly turned incredibly awkward.
But instead of feeling awkward, I felt like I'd found my people.
A massive smile instantly lit up my face,
And I eagerly walked up to them.
Hi, everyone, I said, my voice bright and cheerful. Hello. We'll be colleagues from now on. I'm a total newbie here, and I don't know the first thing about this job. Please show me the ropes and go easy on me. No problem. You're being way too polite. Acting completely oblivious to their probing, judgmental stares, I quickly and naturally chimed into their small talk. The tense atmosphere relaxed quite a bit.
原港鬼可以后把是去庙这里。
And cautiously probed. If you don't mind me asking, what is your relationship with Mr. Zay?
I blinked, and it replied smoothly. Oh, we grew up together.
And we're also old class.
Mace. Ah, I see.
Everyone suddenly understood. So they were childhood sweethearts. Just as they were wondering who on earth I really was, Chushu arrived with the logistics staff, carrying the brand new desk, chair, and computer equipment. Spotting me surrounded in the middle, she called out, Sir, why aren't you in Mr. Zay's office?
Zhu stopped in her tracks.
Rather, the name Wuye was like a stone thrown into a calm lake, sending massive ripples through everyone's heart. In an instant, the entire room fell dead silent. The rumors were true. Say guy, who is said to have a terrible relationship with CEO Sei. Actually, the only man who could appear alongside Ziyakan had to be C-Guy. I really can't understand the eldest Miss Sei's move here. What they didn't know was hiding that special one-way glass of the CEO's office.
Siyachi was quietly watching. Her gaze pierced through the glass, locking firmly onto me. Complex, unreadable emotions swirled in her eyes. Scrutiny, suspicion,
And a hint of possessiveness that she was trying hard to suppress.
Qiao Chen has been so obedient, even a bit dazed. The liveliness and energy of his 20-year-old self is almost flawless.
But this might just be a clever disguise on his part. I need to find a flaw as soon as possible and tear off Ah Chen's mask. But, oh, how I wish this was all real. I wish time would just stop right here.
I wish Ah Chen could stay like this forever. The boy who smiles at me, who talks back to me,
And who only giggles sheepishly after being teased.
Chusho moved quickly and efficiently.
thinking up my workstation in no time. A brand new computer and a full set of office supplies. Everything was ready. Now that I had my own little corner.
I made sure to look incredibly focused.
You sat properly in front of the computer the entire morning, sometimes knitting your brows in deep thought, and sometimes tapping away on the keyboard.
You look so ridiculously serious.
21. What does this spreadsheet mean? What do these numbers even represent?
How do I adjust this document's layout? Why does it look so ugly when I do it?
They never taught us this in school. I've literally never done this before.
This PowerPoint template is way too tacky. The colors are absolutely hideous.
Believing in the principle of self-reliance, I first secretly searched for answers on my phone, and for things I really couldn't figure out, I frantically called Tuanon for remote help. It was a clumsy, struggling day. Surprisingly, I actually got a few basic tasks done quite decently. Sayashi printed out the documents I submitted and tapped her pen on a few spots. The logic makes no sense here, and these data references are inaccurate.
Plus, some of the formatting doesn't meet company standards.
I leaned in closer, watching her circle things and explain them on the paper. Her voice was gentle and patient. Without realizing it, I found myself following her train of thought, watching her demonstrate, making edits and adjustments, and learning her logical approach to solving problems. Outside the window, twilight slowly painted the sky. At 5 o'clock, the end of the day alarm rang right on time. A second ago, I was completely focused, but now I was instantly bursting with energy. My eyes lit up. I saved my files and shut down my computer in the blink of an eye. The whole routine was smooth as silk. I let out a cheer, stood up, and bolted for the door.
Yacha, don't you want your feedback notes?
I'll fix them tomorrow. Under labor laws, once off-work hours hit, we're done. I bolted out of the office in a flash, leaving behind a crowd of corporate wage slaves staring in pure envy.
I mean, who doesn't want to leave on time?
But my freedom was short-lived.
I'm sorry, Master Chell. President Sai specifically ordered that you cannot leave the company alone.
Fishashi, I'm clocking out. Get back here. Finish revising the documents before you leave.
It's after hours now, and this overtime counts as triple pay. As an employee, leaving earlier than the boss, at any other company, you would already be fired.
Clutching my phone, I looked back at the towering elevator. Dejectedly, I walked back in, and the lights on the top floor lit up for me once again. Let's head home.
I hate overtime.
I followed Ziyashi into the elevator. It was much quieter this time. By the time Ziyashi drove me back to the Z mansion, the night had grown deep. Nanny New had already prepared dinner. A steaming spread of 6 dishes and a soup sat on the table, exuding the comforting warmth of a home-cooked meal. The two of us finished eating in quiet comfort. I headed straight back to the master bedroom and went right back to my killing spree on the virtual battlefield. Meanwhile, Siyaken headed into the study to handle some business. Before long, her phone buzzed.
Hey, come out for a drink.
I heard you brought my brother-in-law to the office today.
What's the deal?
I'm not going, and there is no deal.
Stop trying to fool me!
You two actually managed to spend a whole day together in peace? No shouting matches? No silent treatment?
That is rarer than the sun rising from the west.
Well, luckily, he lost his memory. Annoyed by the constant pestering, Ziyakan quickly scribbled a brief reply and ignored her. 1 hour later, the doorbell rang. Mother Wang went to open the door.
Only to find Gunyanyan standing there with a playful grin.
Familiar with the place, she kicked off her shoes and slipped into some house slippers.
Hey there, Miss Say. I'm at your house.
Guninian sent a text to Ziyakan upstairs.
Where is my brother-in-law? You really are persistent. Seijian instinctively glanced toward a tightly shut door of the master bedroom.
You came all this way, just for some gossip? Of course, the fact that you two didn't tear each other apart is a miracle.
Naturally, I had to see it with my own eyes.
Kuninian leaned in closer, her eyes sparkling with excitement.
Ziyakan replied in a flat, indifferent tone. We are monkeys in a zoo.
There is no need for you to make a special trip just to watch us. But seriously though, wasn't Achen completely obsessed with that Wan Tanyan, to the point of life and death? How did he suddenly have such a change of heart? Are you sure you're not being fooled again?
Back then, I had caused a massive uproar all over the city for Yun Tenya. As Yakin's closest best friend, Gunyanin had spent plenty of nights drinking with her to drown her sorrows, so she was naturally still very wary. A faint flicker of tenderness passed through Yakin's eyes. He lost his memory. But last time, he also pretended to have a headache and amnesia just to make you soft-hearted. This time, he's just upgraded his tricks.
This time, it's real.
He doesn't even remember who Wan Tian'an is.
What if his acting just got better?
Yakan, don't fall for him all over again.
Before she could even finish her sentence,
The sound of a door opening softly came from the second floor.
both of them looked up at the same time.
I walked out, dressed in comfortable loungewear.
I stood by the railing, looking down.
My eyes were clear and bright, filled with a touch of curiosity and unfamiliarity.
Gunyanin immediately stood up.
Flashing her signature.
Bright smile.
Hi, brother-in-law. Did we talk too loud and wake you up?
I walked down the stairs.
And nodded to her.
Polite but distant. Hello.
At the same time, I urgently called out to my system Tuinoan in my mind.
Who is this person?
That's Gunyanin, the female lead's best friend from her startup days.
They're incredibly close. Probably the only person Yakin can really open up to.
It clicked, and I met Gunyanin's searching gaze. I just came down to get some water.
Please, carry on.
I walked over to the kitchen fridge.
And took out 2 bottles of mineral water. I actually smiled at me just now. He even said hello first. Didn't he always give me the cold shoulder before?
Looks like he really did lose his memory. Chen's memory is stuck at 20 years old.
He's forgotten everyone and everything from before.
That's great news. We absolutely have to celebrate this.
Let's go out and grab a few drinks.
My treat. Qiao Chen blanked out for a moment, then nodded. Sure, let's go.
Are you checking in with him already?
Yeah, and
Are you really falling for him all over again?
Qiao ignored her.
Walking over to the master bedroom door and knocking softly. My slightly muffled voice drifted out from inside.
she pushed the door open. I was sitting cross-legged on the sofa, my fingers tapping frantically on my phone screen. The battle on screen seemed intense. The glow from the screen cast a sharp, focused silhouette on my face, making me look completely lost in my own world.
Chen, I'm going out for a few drinks with Gunyanyan.
I might be back a little late.
I didn't even look up. My eyes stayed glued to the screen.
Oh, go ahead. It's not like I have you on a leash. The moment those words left my mouth, Yanin froze for a split second. Those words pierced her heart like a sharp needle. She wanted to say something, but the words caught in her throat, turning into nothing but bitter silence. In the end, she didn't say a word. She just gave me one long, deep look.
Who quietly closed the door behind her.
Inside the bars, the lights were dim and hazy, and the heavy bass thrummed against their eardrums.
Yakan didn't say a word.
She immediately downed 2 glasses of strong liquor.
Hey, slow down.
What is wrong with you?
What set you off this time?
As she raised her 3rd glass to her lips, Qiao Chen threw her head back and drank it down. Maybe I shouldn't spoil him so much.
They're only protecting him.
Before, the moment you let him out of your sight, he would run straight to Yan Tenya.
Do you know how much trouble he caused?
And wasn't it always you who had to clean up his mess?
And now that he has amnesia,
And we don't know what's going on.
you have to be even more careful. What if something happens again? But he hates being chained to me. And he hates me too.
Yakan stared at the amber liquid swirling in her glass. Well, isn't that obvious?
But at least he's not making a scene anymore. You finally get some peace and quiet.
Just take it slow.
You can't rush these things. But Qiao Chen didn't seem to hear. She just poured herself another full glass.
Yimineng shook her head.
Knowing she was stuck being her drinking buddy for the night. By now, the striking looks of both women had already drawn quite a few glances from the crowd. Before long, a tall, well-built man with a glass of wine walked over and sat down in the empty seat next to Yakan.
Hey, you 2 beautiful ladies.
Isn't it a bit lonely drinking all by yourselves? How about we have a drink together?
Sorry.
But my friend is married.
Hey, married people can still make friends, right?
Besides, I can see this beautiful lady here is in a bad mood.
Why don't we chat a bit?
I said, I'm married. The smile on the man's face stiffened. He glanced pointedly at her completely bare finger. His tone turned flirtatious as he provoked,
Seeing you in such a bad mood.
Did you have a fight with your husband? If you ask me, sometimes you just need to let loose and enjoy yourself. Who knows? Maybe your husband is out having a good time somewhere else right now. Besides, you've even taken off your wedding ring. Why take it so seriously? Life is short. Why not live in the moment? Meanwhile, at this very moment, I was on the mic, teaming up with my gaming friends. I was having a blast, leaving the couple on the opposing team completely speechless. Suddenly, out of nowhere, I let out a loud sneeze. Who's thinking of me? I rubbed my nose and muttered to myself. Back at the bars, the aura around Yakan instantly plummeted to freezing point. Get lost. The man was completely frozen by the chilling, deadly look in her eyes and fled in a panic scramble.
Ganian let out a sigh of relief.
But when she turned around, she saw Ziyakin staring intently down at her own right hand.
Her ring finger was completely bare. My marriage to Qiao was a sham from the very beginning. Qiao didn't love me before his amnesia, and even after losing his memory, he still doesn't love me. This realization burned through her chest, far more agonizing than any strong alcohol.
Ken fell silent.
She downed glass after glass. Watching this, Gunenian felt a heavy ache in her heart.
But she had no idea how to comfort her.
In the end, seeing Yakan completely wasted, she could only resign herself to calling her own people to safely escort this high-maintenance VIP back home first. Late into the night,
As Yan was helped out of the car by the driver,
a sudden gust of cold night breeze blew, and her mind seemed to clear up for just a brief second, but his feet still betrayed him.
He brushed away Guninian's hand as she tried to support him.
Making a grand entrance into the house on his own, dragging himself up the stairs, step by step. Being that she wasn't needed anymore, Bunyanyan
felt relieved and headed home. Right outside the bedroom door,
Qiao Chen stopped.
leaned against the cold, hard wall.
he clumsily adjusted the hem of his skirt.
Once he was done,
He took a deep breath and grabbed the freezing doorknob.
"Okay, baby, this kill is yours."
My excited voice drifted faintly from inside the room,
Stepping through the cracked door. Every word pierced right into his ears with crystal clarity.
Qiao Chen's hand instantly froze on the handle.
It felt like the blood in his entire body froze in an instant.
only to surge straight to his head in the very next second.
The malicious speculation from that man at the bars felt like a cursed prophecy, coming true at this very moment in the most ironic way possible.
So, Chen never lost his memory.
He's been lying to me this whole time, with that innocent look. The one that still held the shadow of his 20-year-old self.
With those seemingly gentle gestures,
He painstakingly weaved a massive lie. It turns out, when I wasn't looking,
Chen was still keeping such an incredibly close connection with someone else, day in and day out.
what an intimate pet name.
years ago, I called out to Chener countless times in my dreams, hoping he would call me that one day.
But Chen has never called me that.
Not even once. Yet he said it to another woman, thousands of times.
Qiao jealousy festered under the influence of the alcohol.
The drunkenness that had slightly faded was now fueled by a raging, tempestuous anger.
The humiliation of being played surged like hot lava.
Instantly swallowing whatever little sanity he had left, he slammed the bedroom door open.
The more soft light from the room spilled out.
Standing in sharp contrast to the dimly lit hallway. I was leaning against the headboard with my headphones on, my fingers sliding rapidly across the screen. Clearly startled by the sudden loud crash, I snapped my head up. The relaxed smile from chatting with my gaming buddy was still lingering on my face.
And there stood Z Toothpick.
Her cheeks were flushed with an unnatural redness.
In her eyes was a mix of panic and despair that I had never seen before.
Her usual cold, poised demeanor was completely shattered. She was like a cornered beast, driven to madness by pain.
She stared at me, eyes locked onto mine.
Her lips trembled for a long time before she squeezed out a tearful accusation.
Chen,
"You lied to me. You never lost your memory."
I was completely bewildered.
I sat up in bed.
what exactly did I lie to you about?
"I've never lied to you in my life."
you didn't lie? She took a step toward me, then another.
Her high heels clicked against the floor, each step sounding like she was walking on knives. "Then who are you calling babe just now?"
Yuan Qianjiang, Huai.
"You've been faking it this whole time." "Pretending to have amnesia? Acting all sweet and obedient?"
Pretending that I'm the only one you depend on,
"Well, you're still secretly entangled with her behind my back." That's when it finally clicked. Not knowing whether to laugh or cry, I held up my phone. "You mean this?" "This is my gaming teammate. He's a guy. I just got a pentakill, so I called him babe to celebrate." What on earth did you imagine?
Yahan's footsteps instantly froze.
The alcohol instantly cleared from her head.
The anger in her eyes slowly froze, turning into utter shock. She stared at the game screen on my phone,
Then looked back at my completely innocent face.
The flush on her cheeks vanished in an instant, leaving her pale.
I softened my tone. "Yeah, Chen, I know what you're afraid of.
You're afraid I'll remember Wei and Tanyan.
But the guy who was hopelessly obsessed with her back then wasn't me. He was just a puppet controlled by the plot. My memory is currently stuck at 20. All I remember is that we're childhood rivals who've been bickering since we were kids. She turned her face away, her shoulders trembling slightly. She wouldn't look at me, but she didn't argue back either. I got out of bed and walked over to her. The guy who was hopelessly obsessed with Wan Danyentin wasn't me. He was just a puppet, controlled by the plot. My memory is currently stuck at 20. All I remember is that we're childhood rivals who've been bickering since we were kids. And I remember winning the race at the sports meet and spraining my ankle.
You were the one who helped me to the school clinic, scolding me the entire way. Yet you held my arm so gently, terrified of hurting me. I remember.
Whenever I was short on cash, you'd grumble and act so reluctant, only to turn around and stuff the money into my hands. And I remember you saying that even if every last man on earth died, you'd never like me. I was just angry. I know.
I reached out, gently wiping away the tears from his face. My movements were clumsy, yet incredibly gentle and sincere.
Over the past half a month,
I've seen it all, so clearly.
you claim you've locked me up with a golden chain.
I'm always terrified that I'll run away or that I'll get hurt. But you've given me the absolute best life.
You even gave up a crucial bidding meeting just for me. Even when you knew I might just be faking it, you still rushed to my side, every single time. Yaken,
You're not some villain. You're just the silliest, most fiercely protective person in my life.
he snapped his head up. He snapped his head up, his tears splashing onto the back of my hand, scalding hot.
Are you really never going to see Wen Tinyan again?
Why on earth would I go to her?
She strung me along,
Used me, and stepped all over me and the Zai Corporation.
just to climb her way up, and through it all, she never even gave me a single sincere word.
I have to be absolutely out of my mind to ever go back to her.
The person from before? That wasn't me. But now, I am truly myself.
And I will only stay far, far away from toxic trash like her.
Xizhou, you're amazing.
The misunderstanding was finally resolved. Ignoring the system, I gently reached out and took Yaken's hand.
Drawing him to sit down beside me on the edge of the bed. I apologize to you, on behalf of that other me, for everything that happened in the past.
He made you suffer. For 6 long years.
Making you lose sleep night after night.
He made you someone who loved me so much.
Resort to locking me up just to keep me by your side. He truly failed you.
But I promise you, from this day forward, Qiao Chen will never let Yaken shed another single tear. Qiao threw himself into my arms,
Wrapping his arms tightly around my waist, burying his face deep into the crook of my neck.
The immense pain and longing he had bottled up for 6 long years finally erupted,
And he began to sob like a helpless child.
I gently stroked his back,
My heart aching with pure tenderness.
As for Qiao's so-called imprisonment,
It was never about control.
It was always my salvation.
If she hadn't stayed by my side, guarding me when I was possessed by that twisted plot, I would have died a long time ago from the endless self-harm and despair.
In the clumsiest, most obsessive way possible.
She kept me alive.
Don't lock me up with chains anymore.
I'm not going to run. If you're still scared, just take me with you wherever you go. I'll follow you to work and stay by your side when you're off. Pun, never leaving you for the rest of my life. She looked up, her eyes red from crying, and whispered, Really? More real than gold. And I'm going to work hard
To help you run the Zay Corporation.
I used to hold you back, but from now on, I will be your strongest support. That night was the first time we didn't sleep a meter apart. I held her close, and she drifted off to sleep in my arms, peaceful and secure. No tossing and turning. No waking up in the middle of the night, terrified. Early the next morning, when Yaken woke up, she was still a little self-conscious.
The tips of her ears were bright red.
I teased her on purpose. President Xie. Who was that? Crying like a baby yesterday? She glared at me, but without her usual cold distance. Instead, her face carried a hint of a sweet pout. Don't you dare mention it! After we got out of bed, I immediately had the bodyguards take away every single gold chain in the house. From now on, I will bind you to me with my heart. It's tighter than any chain ever could be. Over the next few days, I threw myself completely into working at the Zai Corporation. At first, I couldn't even make sense of the financial statements, but gradually, I began learning the ropes of business from Ziyashi. I learned how to handle company affairs, and my progress was incredibly fast. Whenever Shiyaxi was teaching me,
She showed endless patience.
I worked extra hard too, wanting nothing more than to share her burden, so she wouldn't have to carry the weight of everything all on her own. As for Yang Tinyan, she finally paid the price for her own greed and selfishness. With the failure of the government bidding project, she not only failed to secure the Qi family's investment, but also ended up buried under massive debts. Even the Yan family shares were mortgaged. Her father, who was already gravely ill, saw her complete fall from grace and directly stripped her of all power in the company, backing his other children to take over instead. Abandoned by everyone, Wan Tinyan lost every ounce of her former glory. In the end, she had to slink away from Haishi in utter disgrace, completely powerless to ever cause trouble again. When I heard the news, I only smiled faintly. What goes around, comes around. She brought this end upon herself, step by step, and has no one else to blame. When Yuninin visited the Sai residence again and saw Yaken and me sitting side by side on the sofa, with me peeling an orange for her, while she leaned against my shoulder to read some documents, looking like the picture of pure, quiet bliss.
She was so shocked, she almost spat out her tea.
Oh my God, Qiao Chen! You've completely changed. Before, you only had eyes for Yang Tinyan. But now, your eyes are filled with nothing but our Yaken. Not bad, not bad. You've finally come to your senses.
Setayan gave Gunenin a gentle nudge,
Though a sweet smile tugged at the corners of her lips. Don't talk nonsense. I held Yaken's hand and said earnestly, I was blind before, but now I see clearly who is truly worth cherishing in my life. Host, Phase 1 of the mission has been successfully completed.
Your physical health indicators have fully reached the standard.
Phase 2 of the mission, Protect Cyan, has been unlocked. Your reward blind box has been issued.
You have opened the 2 Hearts Beta 1 buff.
From now on, you and your wife will share a perfect mental connection.
And there will never be any more misunderstandings between you. Ha! As the days went by, my weight slowly returned to normal.
No longer was I that walking skeleton from before.
Instead, I was full of life and in high spirits.
And the bond between Yakin and me only grew deeper and stronger by the day.
We went from childhood rivals to indispensable lovers.
Under our joint management, our business flourished more and more. Our empire kept expanding,
Becoming the leading enterprise in Haishi. The shareholders who once doubted Yaxi now can't praise me enough.
One weekend,
Why? Know what? You should life, fate, and
I took Yassi back to our old college campus.
walking down the familiar campus paths, watching the students pass by, it felt as if we were 20 again.
I stopped in my tracks.
looked at Yaxi earnestly and dropped to one knee.
I pulled a diamond ring out of my pocket.
I bought this with the very first paycheck I earned myself.
Yaxi, when we were 20, I sprained my ankle, and you helped me walk down this path. Now at 26,
I want to hold your hand and walk with you for the rest of my life. Our marriage before was out of spite. It was an accident, a saving grace.
but now, I want to marry you.
Simply because I love you.
Will you marry me?
Yaxi's eyes welled with tears.
She nodded vigorously.
Her voice choking up.
I do. I slipped the diamond ring onto her ring finger, sit it up, and pulled her into a tight embrace. From now on, there are no more arch rivals. Just me and my wife, never leaving each other's side, growing old together.
Think. Holding her close in my arms,
My heart was filled with absolute peace.
I once thought I was just a puppet trapped in a novel, whose fate was already sealed, doomed to end in tragedy. But now I know. As long as you stay true to yourself
And cherish true love
to finally break free from all my chains.
and live life on my own terms.
For 6 long years, Yakin loved me with a fierce, relentless devotion, protecting me.
Just waiting for the real me to return,
And for the rest of my life, I will use all my warmth and devotion.
to make up for all the pain and waiting he endured. Late at night, when the world is quiet,
I look at my sweet Yakin, sleeping peacefully beside me.
and gently kiss his forehead. Marrying you is the greatest blessing of my life, Kikaken. For the rest of my life,
Through the bitter winds and snow, it's you.
in the quiet, ordinary days, it's you.
In poverty and hardship, it's you.
In wealth and prosperity, it's you. The tenderness in my heart is you. And everywhere I look, it's always you.